Marcus and Lisa had been dreaming about this moment for months. After long days of searching, they finally found a small house in a quiet neighborhood. The house was modest but charming, painted in warm cream with green shutters that matched the trees lining the street. A small garden surrounded the front yard, and the driveway led to a garage where Marcus imagined parking his car and storing his tools. For Marcus and Lisa, this house was more than just walls and a roof. It was the start of a new life, a place where they could raise their newborn son, Aaron, in safety and happiness. Lisa carried Aaron carefully in her arms as they stepped out onto the small porch for the first time. The baby was barely 3 weeks old, his tiny fingers curling around hers as he slept peacefully. The sun was warm, casting soft shadows across the neatly trimmed lawns. Birds chirped from the nearby trees, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of fresh flowers from neighboring gardens. "This is perfect," Lisa whispered, looking around. Her eyes sparkled as she set Aaron down on the soft blanket she had brought from the car. She knelt beside him, brushing a soft strand of hair from his forehead. Marcus leaned against the porch railing, watching her. He had never felt so calm in his life. "I know," Marcus said, a smile spreading across his face. "This is exactly what we needed. Just peace, quiet, and our family together." For a moment, the world seemed still. It was the calm after months of planning, packing, and moving. They had left behind a busy city where every day felt rushed and crowded. Here the streets were wide and quiet, and the neighbors, from what they had seen so far, waved politely when passing by. But the calm would not last. In neighborhoods like this, order was important. Rules were everywhere, from the way the lawns were trimmed to the color of the mailbox. It was a community that valued appearances, and some residents took those rules more seriously than others. One of those residents was Mrs. Thompson, a woman known to everyone as Karen. She had lived in the neighborhood for more than 20 years and considered herself the unofficial guardian of the community. Her days were spent walking up and down the streets, inspecting yards, comparing fences, and noting any small imperfection. She believed that order and rules were the foundation of a perfect neighborhood, and she expected everyone to follow them without question. Marcus and Lisa had noticed her during their first week. She had appeared at the edge of their yard while they were unpacking boxes, clipboard in hand and a frown on her face. Marcus had smiled politely, but Karen had simply nodded and continued her walk. Lisa felt a little uneasy about the encounter, sensing that Karen's interest in them was not casual. "This neighborhood seems so peaceful," Lisa said as she carried Aaron inside. "Do you think Karen was just curious?" Marcus shrugged. "Maybe. Some people just take rules very seriously. We'll meet her properly soon. I don't want to start anything, but we'll be polite when she comes over." Inside the house, they unpacked their belongings slowly. Lisa arranged Aaron's crib near the window, where soft sunlight fell each morning. She hung little pictures of animals on the wall, hoping that Aaron would grow up surrounded by warmth and color. Marcus worked on setting up the living room, arranging furniture so that the space felt open and comfortable. As the evening approached, Marcus and Lisa sat on the couch together, holding hands and watching Aaron sleep. The house felt alive with possibility. For a young couple with a newborn, every corner of the home held promise. The next morning, Karen returned. This time she approached the house directly, knocking on the door with a firm hand. Marcus opened it, expecting a neighborly visit. "Good morning," Marcus said politely. "Can I help you?" Karen looked at him carefully, her eyes sharp and judging. "I am Mrs. Thompson," she said. "I am part of the homeowners association. I have certain responsibilities to ensure that the neighborhood is in order." Lisa stepped forward, holding Aaron. "We understand, Mrs. Thompson. Is there something we need to do?" Karen's gaze drifted to the baby. "I have noticed that you have a newborn. According to the HOA regulations, all new residents with infants must provide documentation for verification. I need to see the baby and verify the registration immediately." Lisa blinked in surprise. "Excuse me? Our baby is right here. What do you mean, verification?" Karen's voice remained firm. "It is standard procedure. You must comply." Marcus felt a surge of protectiveness. He placed a hand on Lisa's shoulder. "Mrs. Thompson, my wife and baby are safe at home. There is no need for verification. This is our private property, and you do not have the right to take the baby." Karen's frown deepened. "Rules are rules. I am simply enforcing them. You will cooperate." Lisa felt a wave of anxiety. She glanced at Marcus, hoping he would handle the situation. Marcus remained calm, his voice steady. "We are new here, Mrs. Thompson. We want to follow the rules, but our baby's safety comes first. We will provide any necessary documentation at the proper time. Right now we need privacy," he said firmly. Karen's eyes narrowed. "You may think that is acceptable, but the rules do not bend. It is my duty to ensure compliance. I will not leave until this matter is addressed." Marcus took a deep breath, considering his next move. He had faced high-pressure situations before, but never in his own home. Yet he remained calm. "Mrs. Thompson," he said, "I understand your concerns, but I must make one thing clear. This is my home and my family's safety is my priority. You cannot remove my baby or force my wife to hand him over." Karen stepped closer, her tone rising. "I am simply enforcing the law. You must comply immediately." At that moment, Lisa held Aaron closer. She could feel Marcus tense beside her. But Marcus did not panic. He had trained for situations where calmness and confidence were everything. He looked Karen in the eye and spoke quietly but firmly. "Mrs. Thompson, I am a Navy SEAL. I have served my country and protected countless lives. I am well trained to handle dangerous situations. I suggest you step back and leave, or you will regret it." Karen froze, her expression changing from anger to shock. She had no idea who she was confronting. The calm authority in Marcus's voice, combined with the intensity in his eyes, made her hesitate. Lisa watched in awe. She had always known Marcus was disciplined and strong, but she had never seen him reveal this side of himself in public. Karen, for the first time, realized that she was not dealing with an ordinary neighbor. After a long pause, Karen muttered something under her breath and stepped back. Her posture changed and her frown softened slightly, though she was clearly struggling to maintain her composure. Marcus kept his eyes on her. "Leave now," he said quietly. "This is your final warning." Karen nodded stiffly and walked back toward the street, her clipboard clutched tightly in her hands. She looked over her shoulder at the house, unsure whether she had won or lost. Once the door closed, Lisa exhaled, her body relaxing for the first time in minutes. She held Aaron close, smiling at Marcus. "I didn't know you had that side," she said softly. Marcus smiled, brushing a strand of hair from Lisa's face. "I will always protect our family," he said. That evening, Marcus and Lisa sat together on the porch watching the sunset. They knew life in the neighborhood would not always be quiet, but they also knew that as long as they were together, they could face any challenge. Aaron slept peacefully in his crib, unaware of the tension that had filled the house earlier, and the couple felt a sense of safety they had never experienced before. The neighborhood was still perfect from the outside, but Marcus knew that challenges would come, and he was ready to face them, for Lisa and for Aaron. The quiet streets and manicured lawns were a beautiful cover for the drama beneath. Marcus understood that living here would require vigilance, patience, and courage. He was ready. Lisa rested her head on his shoulder, feeling the strength and calm that Marcus always carried. Together they had a new home, a newborn son, and a life that was theirs to protect. Whatever challenges the neighborhood might bring, Marcus and Lisa knew they would face them together, with courage, love, and determination. The next morning, Marcus woke up before the sun. The faint orange glow of dawn seeped through the curtains. He quietly slipped out of bed, careful not to wake Lisa or Aaron. The calm of the house was comforting, but he could feel that something was stirring in the neighborhood. The previous encounter with Mrs. Thompson, or Karen as most called her, had left a lingering tension. He knew that people like her did not forget easily. Downstairs, he made himself a cup of coffee and glanced out the window. The streets were empty, the lawns perfectly trimmed, and the air carried the fresh scent of morning dew. It all seemed peaceful. For a moment, Marcus allowed himself to relax, but he also knew better than to trust appearances. Lisa was already awake, sitting in the living room chair with Aaron in her arms. She smiled when Marcus joined her. "Good morning," she said softly, her voice full of warmth. "Did you sleep well?" Marcus nodded. "I did, but I can't stop thinking about yesterday. Karen won't let this go easily." Lisa sighed. "Do you think she will come back?" Marcus took a sip of his coffee, his gaze steady. "Yes. People like her rarely give up when they think someone is bending the rules. But we will handle it. We always do." Aaron stirred in Lisa's arms and let out a soft yawn. Marcus leaned over and gently touched his son's tiny hand. He has no idea what's waiting for him outside these walls, Marcus said quietly, but I promise nothing will harm him. The sound of a firm knock at the door interrupted their quiet morning. Marcus stood immediately, his posture calm but alert. Lisa clutched Aaron closer, a small crease of worry appearing on her forehead. Marcus opened the door and sure enough Karen stood there. Her hair was perfectly styled and she held her clipboard with authority. Her lips were pressed into a thin line, and her eyes darted quickly around the porch as if taking note of every detail. "Good morning," Karen said, her voice crisp and precise. "I see you are awake. I am here regarding your newborn. It is required that all new residents submit documentation and allow verification of infants. I must see the baby immediately." Lisa's eyes widened. "Verification? We have already moved in and the baby is fine. Why do you need to see him right now?" Karen's expression remained stern. "This is standard procedure. You must comply with the regulations of the HOA. It is my responsibility to ensure the rules are followed." Marcus placed a protective hand on Lisa's shoulder. "Mrs. Thompson, as I explained yesterday, our baby's safety is our top priority. You do not have the right to just demand that my wife hand him over. This is our home." Karen raised her eyebrows. "Safety is not my concern. Rules are rules. You will comply immediately. If you do not, I will report this to the HOA board. They have authority to enforce compliance." Lisa's grip on Aaron tightened, and her heart began to race. "Marcus, what do we do?" she asked softly. Marcus took a deep breath. He looked Karen directly in the eyes. His calm and steady demeanor made his presence imposing. "Karen, I have told you this before. I am a Navy SEAL. I protect my family. I will not allow anyone to threaten the safety of my wife or son. This is your warning. Leave now." Karen hesitated, clearly shocked by his words. Her confidence faltered, but she quickly tried to regain control. "Your profession does not exempt you from the rules. You will cooperate." Marcus's voice remained calm but firm. "This is my house. My wife and baby are safe here. I suggest you step away. I have no interest in confrontation, but I will take action if necessary." Lisa watched in awe as Marcus stood his ground. She had known him to be disciplined, but she had never seen this side of him displayed in such a direct confrontation. Karen, on the other hand, realized that she had underestimated the young father. After a long pause, Karen muttered, "I will report this to the board," and turned to leave. Marcus stepped forward just enough to block the path to the street, his posture firm. "Go now," he said. "This is your only chance." Karen glanced at him, then back at the house. Her face twisted with frustration and disbelief, but she slowly backed down, muttering something under her breath. She left the porch, still holding her clipboard tightly. Once she was out of sight, Marcus closed the door and locked it. He exhaled slowly, feeling the tension leave his body, though he knew this was only the beginning. Lisa leaned against him, holding Aaron, and whispered, "I am glad you are here." Marcus smiled and kissed her forehead. "We are safe. That is all that matters." Throughout the day, Karen did not return, but her presence lingered like a shadow over the neighborhood. She began making calls to other HOA members, sharing her version of events. Marcus and Lisa knew that this would not be the last they saw of her. To prepare for the inevitable, Marcus began thinking strategically. He studied the neighborhood, noting potential threats and areas where Karen could intervene again. He spent hours walking the streets, speaking to neighbors in friendly, casual ways. He wanted to establish a presence without creating conflict, showing that he and Lisa were part of the community, but not easily intimidated. Lisa, meanwhile, focused on Aaron. She spent the day singing softly, playing with him, and ensuring that he felt secure. She knew Marcus's skills would protect them, but she also wanted their home to feel like a sanctuary. By evening, Marcus had finished setting up security measures around the house. Motion sensor lights were installed, doors were reinforced, and he even adjusted the lock so that every entry point was secure. While he did not anticipate any real danger from a neighbor, He knew that preparation was always important. That night, as the sun set and the sky turned a deep shade of purple, the couple sat on their porch together. Marcus held Lisa's hand, feeling a sense of calm despite the events of the day. "Do you think she will come back?" Lisa asked quietly. "Most likely," Marcus said. "People like her never give up. But we are ready. We know our rights, and more importantly, we know how to protect our family." Lisa nodded. "I feel safe with you." "That is what matters." Aaron stirred in her arms, reaching for Marcus with his tiny hand. Marcus smiled down at his son, feeling a deep sense of responsibility. This child represented everything he had fought for: peace, family, and the future. The following morning, as Marcus and Lisa enjoyed a quiet breakfast, they heard the sound of footsteps on the porch. They looked up to see Karen once again, her clipboard in hand and determination in her eyes. "I need to see the baby," she said firmly. "It is my duty to ensure that all rules are followed." Marcus stepped in front of Lisa and Aaron, his presence calm but powerful. "Karen, I have warned you. This is our home. My wife and son are safe here. If you do not leave immediately, I will call the authorities." Karen's face showed a flicker of hesitation, but she quickly tried to maintain her stern expression. "I am only doing my duty. You must comply." Marcus shook his head slowly. "Your duty does not give you the right to endanger my family. Leave now before this escalates further." Karen paused, clearly realizing that Marcus was not someone to intimidate. Her confidence wavered, and she finally muttered, "This is not over," before retreating down the walkway. Once the door was closed, Lisa let out a long breath. "Marcus, I don't know what we would do without you," she said softly. Marcus knelt beside her, brushing Aaron's hair gently. "We will handle this together. She will not take our happiness from us. Our home is our sanctuary, and nothing will change that." Over the next few days, Karen continued to watch from a distance, occasionally making calls to the HOA board. Marcus and Lisa, however, focused on their family. They spent mornings walking through the neighborhood, meeting other residents, and showing that they were friendly and respectful neighbors. Little by little, they began to establish a sense of normalcy. Aaron grew stronger each day, smiling at his parents and exploring the small world around him. Marcus trained Lisa in small safety measures, teaching her how to remain calm and prepared for unexpected situations. Karen, despite her ongoing surveillance, began to realize that Marcus and Lisa were not intimidated by her threats. Each attempt to control them was met with calm authority and preparation. Slowly, her power over the neighborhood began to fade. One evening, as Marcus, Lisa, and Aaron sat together on the porch watching the sunset, Marcus reflected on the past week. They had faced their first challenge in the neighborhood, and though it had been difficult, it had also strengthened their bond. Lisa rested her head on Marcus's shoulder. "We did it," she said softly. Marcus smiled, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. "Yes, we protected our family, and that is all that matters. No one can take that from us." As the stars appeared in the night sky, the family sat together, united and strong. They knew that life in the neighborhood would continue to bring challenges, but they were ready. Together they were unstoppable. The days following Karen's repeated attempts to intimidate Marcus and Lisa were tense, but Marcus remained calm. Each morning he would wake early and check the perimeter of the house. The neighborhood streets were quiet, yet Marcus knew that people like Karen could be persistent. He had seen this kind of behavior before. People often underestimated what they did not understand, and Marcus was not about to allow anyone to threaten his family. Lisa watched him closely. She admired his calm, steady demeanor, but she also worried about the mental toll of constantly being on guard. "Marcus," she said one morning as she prepared breakfast, "do you think she will ever stop?" Marcus poured himself a cup of coffee and leaned against the counter. "People like her only respect one thing: authority and confidence. I have both. She will test us again, but we are ready." Aaron cooed from his high chair, his tiny hands reaching for a spoon. Lisa laughed softly. "Even Aaron knows we have to stay alert." Marcus smiled at the baby. "He has to, but we also need to enjoy our time here." The house, the neighborhood, the family. That is why we moved. We cannot let her ruin it. As the morning light filled the kitchen, there was a knock at the door. Marcus's eyes narrowed. It was early and the sound was deliberate. Lisa instinctively held Aaron closer. Marcus opened the door. Karen stood there once again, clipboard in hand, her eyes sharp with determination. She seemed more prepared than before, as if she had rehearsed her lines. "I need to speak with you," she said firmly. "It is regarding your newborn. I have received complaints from neighbors about rule violations. You must allow verification." Lisa took a step back, feeling her heart race. "Marcus, what do we do now?" Marcus placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "Watch me," he said. His calmness gave her reassurance. Karen tried to step closer, but Marcus moved slightly, blocking the path. "Karen," he said, "we have explained this before. My wife and baby are safe. You are not authorized to take any action without proper legal authority. Please leave before this escalates further." Karen's expression hardened. "I am simply enforcing the rules." "You are not exempt." Marcus's voice grew calm but commanding. "I am a Navy SEAL. I have trained for situations like this. I know how to handle threats, protect my family, and stay calm under pressure. You are testing the wrong people." Karen's eyes widened. She had heard Marcus mention his service before, but she had never realized the weight of it. The calm confidence in his tone told her he was not bluffing. She hesitated, glancing at the baby. Lisa looked at Marcus with wide eyes. "Do you think she understands now?" she whispered. Marcus nodded. "She is beginning to. People often forget that discipline and calmness can be more powerful than force." Karen's lips pressed into a thin line. She muttered, "This is not over." But there was a noticeable crack in her confident demeanor. She turned and walked down the street, still clutching her clipboard. Marcus closed the door and locked it. He exhaled slowly, feeling the tension leave his body. Lisa held Aaron closer, whispering softly to calm him. "That was impressive," Lisa said quietly. "I don't think she knows who she is dealing with." Marcus smiled. "Most people never do until it is too late. But we must remain vigilant. She will not give up easily." Over the next few days, Marcus and Lisa focused on creating a sense of normalcy. They spent their mornings walking through the neighborhood, greeting neighbors with friendly smiles. They wanted people to see that they were approachable, kind, and respectful. Karen, however, was still watching from a distance. She made calls to the HOA board, sending messages about alleged violations and rules that she believed were being ignored. Marcus knew she was trying to gather support, but he remained calm. One afternoon, Marcus decided to take a proactive approach. He walked to the community park where several neighbors were gathered. He introduced himself and Lisa, sharing a little about their family and their love for the neighborhood. The neighbors responded warmly, welcoming them with smiles and small conversations. By showing openness and friendliness, Marcus began to shift the perception of the neighborhood. People saw that he and Lisa were not troublemakers, but a family who simply wanted a peaceful life. Karen's influence began to wane slightly, though she continued to watch and take notes from her window. One evening, as Marcus was checking the locks on the doors, Lisa approached him. "Marcus, do you think we should tell the neighbors about your Navy SEAL background?" she asked. "It might make them respect our family more." Marcus shook his head gently. "No, people do not need to know everything. My skills are for protecting our family, not for impressing the neighborhood. Karen will learn the truth in her own time." Lisa nodded. "I just want everyone to understand that we are not to be intimidated." Marcus smiled and kissed her forehead. "They will. Patience is key." The next morning, Karen returned once again. This time she appeared even more determined. She approached the house with her clipboard and a small notebook, ready to document every detail. "I have received additional complaints," she said. "I need to inspect your property and your baby immediately. It is my responsibility." Marcus stepped forward, placing himself between Karen and the door. His posture was calm, but there was an unmistakable authority in his voice. "Karen, we have explained this repeatedly. My wife and baby are safe. You are not authorized to take any action. Leave now before this escalates further." Karen's eyes narrowed. "Rules are rules. You cannot ignore them." Marcus remained calm. "Your authority does not extend to taking my baby or threatening my family. I suggest you leave now. This is your final warning." Karen hesitated. She had faced resistance before, but she had not expected such unwavering confidence. Marcus's calmness, combined with the authority in his voice, made her reconsider. Finally, after a tense pause, she muttered, "I will report this," and walked away. Her shoulders were tense and she glanced over her shoulder nervously. Marcus closed the door and locked it once more. Lisa held Aaron, feeling a deep sense of relief. "I don't think she understands how serious you are," she said softly. Marcus knelt beside her, brushing a strand of hair from Aaron's forehead. "She will understand. People like her always do eventually. We must remain calm, patient, and vigilant." Over the next few weeks, Karen continued to observe from a distance. She made occasional notes in her notebook and spoke quietly with other neighbors, trying to sway their opinions. Marcus and Lisa, however, continued to focus on their family. They spent mornings teaching Aaron small things like recognizing colors and listening to soft music. Marcus trained Lisa in simple safety measures, showing her how to remain calm and prepared for any unexpected situation. Together, they created a safe and loving environment for their son. Karen, despite her ongoing surveillance, began to realize that Marcus and Lisa were not intimidated. Each time she tried to assert control, she was met with calm authority and clear boundaries. Slowly, her attempts to dominate the neighborhood began to lose power. One evening, as Marcus, Lisa, and Aaron sat together on the porch watching the sunset, Marcus reflected on the past few weeks. They had faced persistent challenges, yet they remained strong. The neighborhood, once a source of tension, was slowly becoming a place of warmth and support. Lisa rested her head on Marcus's shoulder. "We are stronger than I thought," she said softly. Marcus smiled, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. "Yes, together we can handle anything. Karen may test us, but our family is stronger than any rules she tries to enforce." Aaron reached up with his tiny hands and Marcus held him close. The baby's laughter filled the air, a sound that reminded Marcus of what was truly important. No matter the challenges inside their home, love and safety were absolute. The stars appeared in the sky, casting a gentle light over the neighborhood. Marcus knew that life would continue to bring challenges, but he was ready. Together, they were a family that could face anything, and Karen's attempts to intimidate them would only make them stronger. As the night settled in, Marcus, Lisa, and Aaron sat together in quiet contentment. The house was filled with warmth, love, and a sense of safety that no rules or threats could take away. They knew that Karen would continue to challenge them, but they were prepared, united, and confident in their ability to protect what mattered most. The morning sun rose gently over the quiet neighborhood, casting long shadows across manicured lawns. Marcus and Lisa were up early, as they always were, preparing for a day of normal life despite the lingering tension. Aaron giggled in his crib as Marcus checked the front door locks, making sure everything was secure. "This house is our sanctuary," Marcus said softly to Lisa. "No one can take that away from us if we stay alert." Lisa nodded, smiling down at Aaron. "I feel safer knowing you are here." Marcus smiled back. "Nothing will happen to our family. Not while I am around." As they went about their morning routine, a familiar sound broke the quiet, a firm, deliberate knock at the front door. Marcus froze for a moment, then exchanged a calm glance with Lisa. She instinctively held Aaron closer, feeling her heart race. Marcus opened the door and found Karen standing there once again, her clipboard held tightly. This time she had a notebook tucked under her arm, and her eyes were sharp and determined. "I am here regarding your newborn," she said with authority. "I have received additional complaints about rule violations. I must inspect your baby immediately and verify all documents." Lisa instinctively stepped behind Marcus, holding Aaron close. "Marcus, she's back," she whispered. Marcus's eyes narrowed slightly, but his voice remained calm and commanding. "Karen, I have told you before. My wife and baby are safe here. You have no right to take action without proper authority. Leave now before this situation escalates." Karen's frown deepened. "Rules are rules," she said firmly. "You cannot ignore them." Marcus took a step closer, his posture steady, his gaze unwavering. "I am a Navy SEAL. I have trained for high-pressure situations and know how to protect my family. You will leave now. This is your only warning." Karen paused, clearly unsettled. She had heard Marcus mention his service before, but she had not fully grasped the seriousness of his words. The calm confidence in his tone, the controlled intensity in his eyes, and the steady presence of his body made her hesitate. Lisa held Aaron tightly, whispering, "Please don't let her take him." Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder, his voice soft but firm. She will not. Stay calm. We are ready. Karen glanced at the baby, her lips pressing into a thin line. This is not over, she muttered, her tone laced with frustration. She turned toward the street but paused as if considering her next move. Marcus did not flinch. He knew that people like Karen often returned with new tactics, hoping to catch others off guard. He remained steady, calm, and prepared for any attempt to intimidate them. After a tense moment, Karen finally walked down the walkway, muttering complaints under her breath. She glanced back at the house one last time before disappearing around the corner. Marcus closed the door and locked it, exhaling slowly. Lisa held Aaron close, feeling a mixture of relief and admiration. Marcus, that was incredible. I don't think she expected you to stand your ground like that. Marcus smiled, brushing a strand of hair from Lisa's face. People often underestimate what they do not understand. Calm authority is stronger than threats. She will learn that soon enough. Despite Karen's retreat, Marcus knew she would not give up easily. Over the next several days, he began observing her patterns from a distance, noting her movements and the times she seemed most active. He also spoke quietly with a few neighbors, establishing friendly connections and subtly letting them see that he and Lisa were reasonable, kind and law-abiding residents. Karen, unaware of Marcus's strategic approach, continued her attempts to assert control. She made calls to the HOA board, filing reports of alleged rule violations and attempting to sway neighbors to her side. But Marcus remained calm, confident that her actions would eventually reveal her unreasonable behavior. One afternoon, Marcus decided to take proactive measures to protect his family. He installed additional security measures around the house: cameras, motion sensors, and reinforced locks. He also created a plan in case Karen attempted another confrontation. Marcus had trained extensively for high-pressure scenarios, and he approached this situation with the same focus and preparation he had learned in the Navy. Lisa watched him work, a sense of reassurance washing over her. You really think of everything, she said softly. Marcus smiled. It's not about fear. It's about being prepared and protecting what matters most. Our family comes first. As evening fell, Karen returned, this time with a determined expression and a small group of neighbors following her at a distance. She approached the house with her clipboard, ready to document every detail. Marcus stepped forward, positioning himself between Karen and the door. His presence was calm but commanding, exuding authority. Karen, leave now, he said quietly but firmly. This is your final warning. My family's safety is not negotiable. Karen's eyes flicked toward the small group of neighbors. She spoke quickly, trying to assert control. I am only enforcing the rules. You must comply. The board will support me if necessary. Marcus shook his head slowly. You are mistaken. You cannot force my family to comply with unreasonable demands. Leave now before this escalates further. The neighbors watched silently, sensing the tension. They could see Marcus's calm confidence and the strength of his presence. Karen, for the first time, realized that her intimidation tactics were ineffective. After a long pause, she muttered, "This is not over," and retreated. Her shoulders tense and her clipboard clutched tightly. Marcus closed the door and locked it, then turned to Lisa, who held Aaron in her arms. We are safe, he said gently. No one can take that away from us. Over the next few days, Marcus and Lisa focused on restoring a sense of normalcy. They spent mornings walking through the neighborhood, greeting neighbors and showing that they were friendly and approachable. They wanted people to see that they were reasonable and kind, not targets for manipulation or intimidation. Karen continued her distant observation, but her attempts to control the neighborhood were losing power. Marcus had shown that he was not someone to be underestimated, and the community began to recognize his calm authority. One evening, as Marcus, Lisa, and Aaron sat together on the porch, they watched the sun dip below the horizon. The sky was painted with shades of orange and purple, casting a warm glow over the neighborhood. Lisa rested her head on Marcus's shoulder. We are stronger than I imagined, she said softly. Marcus smiled, holding Aaron close. Yes, together we can face anything. Karen may test us, but our family is stronger than any rules she tries to enforce. Aaron reached up with his tiny hands, and Marcus lifted him gently. The baby's laughter filled the air, a sound that reminded Marcus of the true reason for his vigilance. No matter the challenges inside their home, love and safety were absolute. The stars appeared in the night sky, and the neighborhood grew quiet once more. Marcus knew that life would continue to bring challenges, but he was ready. Together, they were a family that could face anything, and Karen's attempts to intimidate them would only make them stronger. That night, Marcus and Lisa sat together in quiet contentment. The house was filled with warmth, love, and a sense of safety that no rules or threats could take away. They knew Karen would continue to challenge them, but they were prepared, united, and confident in their ability to protect what mattered most. The neighborhood had returned to its quiet routine, but Marcus and Lisa knew that peace had been hard-earned. The small house with the green shutters and cozy porch had become their sanctuary. Aaron, now a little older, explored the living room with curiosity, his laughter filling the air. Every day, Marcus and Lisa reminded themselves that their home was more than walls and furniture. It was a place of safety, love, and family. Karen, the relentless HOA member, had not visited the house in several days. Marcus had noticed her occasional glances from across the street, her clipboard still in hand, but her confidence seemed diminished. Marcus knew that she was reassessing the neighborhood and the family she had tried to intimidate. One sunny morning, Marcus decided it was time to take another step in securing peace. He walked with Lisa and Aaron to the small community park. The park was a favorite among families in the neighborhood, and Marcus wanted to show that they were approachable and part of the community. "Good morning," Marcus greeted a few neighbors who were already there with their children. Lisa held Aaron close and smiled. "We just wanted to come and enjoy the day with everyone." The neighbors responded warmly, returning greetings and small smiles. Over time, Marcus and Lisa had slowly established a friendly reputation. The community began to see that they were reasonable, kind, and respectful residents who cared about the neighborhood as much as anyone else. Karen, watching from a distance, noticed the shift. She saw that Marcus and Lisa's calm and confident approach had earned them the respect of neighbors. Every time she tried to assert control, the couple remained composed, showing that intimidation had no effect. That evening, as Marcus and Lisa prepared dinner, there was a soft knock at the door. Marcus glanced at Lisa and Aaron, then opened the door to find Karen standing there. This time her expression was different. It lacked the anger and determination from before. Instead, there was a flicker of uncertainty and perhaps a trace of respect. "Good evening, Marcus, Lisa," Karen said carefully. "I wanted to apologize for my previous behavior. I now understand that my approach was inappropriate. I realize that your family's safety is the priority, and I respect that." Lisa was surprised but smiled warmly. "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson, that means a lot." Marcus nodded calmly. "We appreciate your understanding. Our goal has always been to live peacefully and respect the neighborhood rules without compromising our family's safety." Karen hesitated, then added, "I will still follow HOA regulations, but I will do so without unnecessary interference. I understand now that your family is not someone to be intimidated." Marcus offered a polite nod. "That is fair. We will also continue to respect the rules in the community. Let's work together to maintain a positive neighborhood." With that, Karen left the house, closing the door with a sense of finality. Marcus turned to Lisa and Aaron, who were watching curiously. "It seems we finally reached a balance," he said softly. Lisa smiled, holding Aaron close. "I am glad. It feels like we can finally relax and enjoy our home." Over the next few weeks, the neighborhood began to adjust to the new dynamic. Karen no longer watched or interfered with Marcus and Lisa's family. She continued to fulfill her duties within the HOA, but with a more respectful approach. Marcus and Lisa became more involved in community events, attending neighborhood meetings and helping with small projects. The change in Karen's attitude also influenced other residents. They noticed how Marcus and Lisa handled the situation with patience, confidence, and calm authority. People began treating them with respect, and the sense of peace in the neighborhood returned. Marcus and Lisa's evenings were now filled with laughter and quiet moments together. They spent time on the porch, watching the sunset and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. Aaron, growing more active and curious, explored the yard under their watchful eyes. One afternoon, Marcus decided to teach Aaron a small lesson about courage and calmness. He knelt beside the baby, holding his tiny hands. "Aaron," he said gently, Life sometimes brings challenges. People may try to control you or scare you, but the most important thing is to stay calm and confident. Your family will always protect you, and you can face anything with love and courage. Aaron giggled, reaching for Marcus's face. Lisa smiled, feeling a deep sense of pride in her family. Together they had faced challenges, maintained their values, and strengthened their bond. Karen, observing from her home, began to see the true impact of Marcus and Lisa's approach. She realized that authority and rules alone could not command respect. It was calmness, patience, and integrity that created trust and admiration. She started to reconsider her behavior, not only toward Marcus and Lisa, but toward all neighbors. One evening, Karen approached Marcus and Lisa once more, this time without her clipboard. She carried a small tray of baked goods, her hands slightly trembling. "I wanted to offer a gesture of goodwill," she said. "I hope we can start over on better terms." Lisa smiled warmly, accepting the tray. "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson, that is very kind of you." Marcus nodded. "We appreciate the gesture. Let's continue to work together to make the neighborhood welcoming for everyone." Karen smiled faintly, a small but genuine smile. "I will do my best. I understand now that my approach before was wrong. You have shown patience and strength that I respect." As she walked away, Marcus turned to Lisa. "It seems we have finally reached a place of understanding. The neighborhood is peaceful again, and we can focus on our family." Lisa held Aaron, who was smiling and reaching out for both of them. "I am so grateful for everything we have. We faced challenges, but we came out stronger." Marcus smiled, brushing Aaron's hair gently. "We did it together. That is what matters most." From that day forward, the neighborhood became a place of genuine community. Marcus and Lisa continued to be active and friendly residents, building connections and trust with neighbors. Karen still carried out her HOA duties, but did so with respect and fairness. The lessons she learned from Marcus and Lisa influenced her interactions with others, making her a more considerate member of the community. Marcus, Lisa, and Aaron thrived in their home. Their days were filled with laughter, play, and quiet moments of reflection. They had learned that courage, patience, and calm authority could overcome intimidation and fear. More importantly, they had discovered that love and protection for family were stronger than any rules or threats from others. Evenings on the porch became a favorite ritual. Marcus would hold Aaron while Lisa sipped tea, and they would watch the sun set over the neighborhood. Each day, they reflected on the challenges they had faced and celebrated the strength and unity of their family. Aaron grew quickly, exploring the yard, learning new words and discovering the beauty of the world around him. Marcus and Lisa encouraged his curiosity, knowing that a safe and nurturing environment would help him thrive. Karen, now more respectful and thoughtful, occasionally waved to Marcus and Lisa as she walked through the neighborhood. Though she maintained her role in the HOA, her approach had changed entirely. The family had shown her that respect and understanding were far more effective than fear and control. One evening, as the sky turned shades of pink and gold, Marcus, Lisa, and Aaron sat together on the porch. Marcus held his son gently, feeling the warmth and joy of his family. "We have come a long way," he said softly. "This house, this family, this life, it is ours to protect and cherish." Lisa leaned against him, smiling. "And we will continue to do that together." Aaron reached up, giggling, and Marcus lifted him into the air. The baby's laughter echoed through the neighborhood, a sound of pure joy and innocence. In that moment, Marcus and Lisa felt a deep sense of accomplishment. They had faced challenges, stood firm, and created a home filled with love and safety. The neighborhood, once a place of tension and suspicion, had transformed into a community of respect and harmony. Marcus and Lisa's approach had influenced not only Karen but also other neighbors, teaching the power of patience, calm authority, and kindness. As night fell, the family sat together, looking up at the stars. Marcus held Lisa and Aaron close, feeling a sense of peace he had never experienced before. The trials with Karen had tested them, but they had emerged stronger, united, and more confident in their ability to protect what mattered most. Their home was more than a house. It was a sanctuary. Their love and courage had created a safe space for their family. Marcus, Lisa, and Aaron knew that no challenge, no rule, and no threat could ever break the bond they shared. They were a family built on trust, respect, and unwavering love. From that day forward, the neighborhood continued in quiet harmony. Marcus and Lisa focused on raising Aaron in a safe and nurturing environment, teaching him the values of patience, courage, and respect. Karen, transformed by the experience, carried out her HOA duties with fairness, understanding the importance of compassion alongside rules. Together, Marcus, Lisa, and Aaron thrived. Their family, once tested by threats and intimidation, had proven that strength, love, and calm authority could overcome any challenge. Their home remained a place of safety, joy, and unity, a true sanctuary for the family and a beacon of respect in the neighborhood. And so, the family continued their life, facing the world with confidence, protecting each other with unwavering dedication, and enjoying the simple, precious moments that made their house a home.